Coming to our fifth unit, we have the exception handling concept. Exception handling here. For example, if you consider, as of now, we have seen many programs, in the first unit, it's in the POP, means procedural oriented programming level, we have written some programs, and from second unit onwards, we have written some classes. Okay, we have created object and we use many member functions, concepts, constructors, okay, different concepts we have seen, right? As of now, for example, after writing your code, if you are not following the C++ syntax, okay, like, or else you are expecting some output, okay. For example, if you want to find the factorial of a like given number, for example, 5 factorial you are trying to find, but you are getting some different output. Actually, 5 factorial is 120, right? Okay, you are getting some 320 like that. Okay, you are expecting some output, but it is giving different output. Okay, based on that, we have the three types of errors here. Okay, first, what is an error is? Error is in an abnormal condition which is going to like disturb your program. Okay, here we have three types of errors. The first one is syntax errors. Okay, the second one is logical errors. Okay, and the one more is there. This is like a runtime error. Okay, coming to syntax errors, syntactically, if you did any mistakes, for example, if you consider C++, you need to follow some rules and regulations, language rules you need to follow, right? For example, if you have the one statement, that statement has to end with semicolon. Okay. For example, you are using one function, user defined, like predefined function, like suppose string related functions are there. Okay. Like strcpy function you are using, suppose. If you are using this function means you need to include one header file, that is cstring.h. Okay, cstring header file you need to include. The same way, if you are using some mathematical related functions, okay, in that case you need to use math.h. Like that, you need, if you are using any function in your code, you need to include that specific header file. Okay, then only you can use that one. You are trying to use this particular function, but you are not included that header file. In that case, it will raise error. Okay. The same way you are using cout statement. Okay, cout and cin objects you are using. If you are using these two objects means you need to use that namespace std. Okay. This std namespace you need to use in your code. Then only you can use this particular cout and cin objects. Okay, that's why the thing is, if you are using some statements, means you need to follow the syntax of C++. If you are not following the rules, language rules of C++, then it is going to give syntax errors. Syntactically, if you did any mistakes in your code, it will raise the error. Okay, such errors you can call it as syntax errors. Okay, syntax errors are identified by the compiler. See, once you are after writing your code, you need to compile your code, right? Once you are compiling your code, your syntax errors are going to rectify. Okay, or like if you did any mistakes in your code, based on that, it will raise the error, syntactical errors. Okay, those errors you can correct by changing your code. By changing your code means you need to follow language rules. Okay, like if you did any mistake like this, okay, if you're not including any header files, if you're not using any namespace, okay, such errors you can correct. Once you are compiling, it will clearly show the messages in your compile log. Based on the compile result, you can correct your code and you can remove these syntax errors. Coming to these logical errors, okay, logical errors are the errors, okay, which is going to give wrong output in your, based on your expectation. Okay, if you are expecting take this example, you are expecting 5 factorial, but it is giving wrong output. Okay, like logically you have written some wrong code, so that it is giving the wrong result to your in your output stream. Okay, these logical errors also you can correct by changing your code. Okay, for example, yesterday we have seen that you are expecting addition of two numbers, but in your code you have written instead of place you are just wrongly you have placed this multiplication symbol, so that it is giving the multiplication of these two numbers, but your expectation is addition of two numbers, but it is giving multiplication of two numbers, so that you are getting some wrong output. Okay, see, these are logical errors. Logical errors will give wrong output in your code, so that to remove those logical errors you can correct your code by changing the statements. Okay, coming to this last one, runtime errors. Runtime errors are the errors which can occur at the time of running your code. Okay, after writing your code you are going to compile your code. Okay, at the time of compilation you won't see any error. Okay, at the time of compiling your code you won't see any errors. After compilation, at compile time these runtime errors are not found. At runtime means after compilation you are going to run your code, right? At the time of running your code, these errors are going to occur. Runtime errors are the errors which are occurred at the time of running your code. These runtime errors you can call it as exceptions. Okay, runtime errors we can call it, here it is exception. Here exception is an event. What is exception? Here it is. Exception is an event which can occur at the time of running your code and which is going to disturb your program execution. Okay, for example, here you have some lines, so first line, second line, third line, fourth line, fifth line, like that. You have 100 lines of code in your program. Okay, execution, for example, in your main function, consider. Okay, in your main function you have these lines of code. Okay, execution starts from the main and it is going to start execution line by line, first statement, second statement, like that. At particular situation, at the line number 6, due to some unwanted situation, okay, due to some reason, due to some statement, your program is going to stop abnormally. Okay, the remaining code is not going to execute. Because of the sixth statement, your program is going to stop execution abnormally. Okay, this particular situation you can call it as runtime error or else exception. Exception is an event which is going to occur at the time of running your code, and this exception is going to exit your program abnormally. Okay, see, runtime errors we cannot expect. Okay, these can occur at the time of running your code. You cannot identify at the time of compilation. Compiler won't don't know where that particular exception is going to raise. But while running your code, this particular situation, okay, this situation, because of this sixth statement, your program is not going to complete its execution. Okay, it is going to exit in middle of your execution only. Okay, because of exceptions, you are not able to like execute your complete program. Okay, this situation you can call it as exception. The way you are handling these situations, okay, whatever the runtime errors that you are occurring in your code, okay, these runtime errors you can handle by using exception handling scenario. The exception is a runtime error which is going to occur at the time of running your code. Because of exception, your program is going to exit in middle of execution only. It is not going to complete its execution. Abnormally, your program is going to exit. Okay. To handle that situation, Okay, to handle that situation, we have the powerful mechanism in C++, that is exception handling. Clear? We have three types of errors here. First one is syntax error. Syntax errors. These errors are occur due to bad programming. Bad programming means you are not following this C++ language rules, so that you will get the syntax error. Okay. Logically, if you did any mistakes in your code, it will raise. It is not showing any error, but it once you are seeing your output, you can conclude that you are getting some problem. You did some mistake in your code, so that you can correct your code by changing your statements. The third one is runtime errors. These errors are occurred at the time of running your code. Okay, because of these runtime errors, your program is not going to execute completely. It is going to stop your program execution at the time in middle of your program itself. Okay, it is not going to complete your program. It is not going to complete your program execution. Okay, abnormally your program is going to terminate it. Okay, to handle this situation, okay, runtime errors we can call it as exception and runtime errors both are same. Okay, these runtime errors we are calling here it is exception. Okay, to handle these exceptions we have one powerful mechanism is there in our C++, that is exception handling. Exception handling is a mechanism to handle your runtime errors. Okay, to handle your runtime errors, okay, your program you are going to handle those situations. Okay, see, I will give some simple example so that you can get very clear idea about this exception handling. Okay, I will show that syntax error once and logical error and these runtime errors also, how these runtime errors are occurred in your program and how the program is going to stop your execution in middle of your execution. Okay, just see one simple example. Clear, right? What is exception and what are the errors here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm just opened this dev cpp. Okay, here just take one new file, source file. Okay, before that we have to create one folder, right? Yesterday we have created. Okay, I cannot explain for every program. Okay, just I shared one like programs related video, right? In that, in the first before for starting of your video, I just explained how to open this dev cpp and how to create folder, how to take a new file. Everything I explained in that video. Just go through that. Okay, here what I am going to do, I'm just taking one simple code here. I will increase the size. iostream is our header file, and then namespace. Namespace is std. Okay, then main function I'm just writing. Main function signature is into main, open bracket and close bracket. It has to return some value. Here I'm just returning 0. Okay, see, I'm just taking two values here. Okay, x value and y value from the user. I want to find addition of these two numbers. That addition I'm just storing in result variable. Okay, these are the three variables. Okay, like instead of taking direct values here, I'm just asking the user to enter two numbers. Okay, if the user enters two numbers, those two numbers I'm going to read into this into x and y. How you can? By using cin, right? Cin x and second value into y. Okay, then I'm finding the result equal, instead of addition I'm going to find division of these two numbers. Okay, how you can find the division? X by y. Okay, then I'm just printing output of this division by using cout statement. Division equals to, where is our division now?
Result.
In result variable. Okay, just print that result variable in the output screen. Okay, this is simple code.
Sir, actually, you said by without using addition, by mistake we have to like take division. So in cout we have to take addition. No, sir. Here in the last.
No problem. Here we are taking the third element here, third variable. That result we are storing in third variable, and that variable we are printing in the output screen.
Okay.
Okay. Simple. Directly in cout statement also directly you can take x by y here, but in third variable I'm just storing the resultant value, and you can print that variable in the output screen. Okay, simple. After writing your code, just save your file. Okay, before saving your file, just move to your folder. Okay, in C drive I have just created a CSC folder. There I'm saving exception sample. Program name is exception sample.cpp. Okay, simple program just taking. Okay. See, this is the code, simple program. Okay, elementary program. Okay, for this, just I'm compiling and running this code. In the output screen, you can see it will ask the two numbers. Okay, or like, see, it is asking enter two numbers. I'm just entering 12. Okay, and the second number is 3. 12 by 3 means it is going to give some 4, right? You can see in the output division equals to 4. Okay, no problem in your code. Okay, there is no issue. Okay, the same program I'm just or like you can see before this I will just show the syntax errors and the logical errors. Okay, suppose if I'm
Sir, we can edit this program only, sir.
Here only I will just show the syntax errors and logical errors as well. Okay, I'm just forgot to place this semicolon. Okay, I'm not following the C++ language rules. Okay, so that just compile your code. Now, when the compiler, you can see expected initializer before cout statement. That means here it is expecting semicolon. Okay, that is the reason it is giving the error, so that you can correct your code by seeing this red line. This line you can correct your code. Okay, here it is before the cout statement. Here it is expecting something else. Okay, that you can correct by placing the semicolon. Now your error is gone. Okay, if I compile your code, you are getting 0 errors and 0 warning. Suppose if I'm not included this, if I'm not use this namespace, std namespace, now you can see I just commented this thing, and now you can see if I compile this code, the same at the place of cout statement, cout was not declared in this scope because cout is global variable, global object. This object you are directly using in your code. Okay, actually, this global object is available in this namespace std. So that every time we are using this particular namespace, right? Okay, every program we have at least one cout statement. That's why we are using this namespace std. Okay, that is the reason like using this namespace. Okay, in your code. This is about a syntax, syntactically errors. Means you need, as per C++ syntax, you need to follow and you need to write your statements in your code. Okay, otherwise it will give the compile errors. Compiler will like identify your syntax errors. Okay, those errors you can correct by changing your code. The same way, second one is the logical errors. Okay, see, my program aim is to find the division. Okay, instead of divide symbol here, if I place this multiplication symbol, okay, the same program I'm just compiling. Okay, there is no errors here. You can see 0 errors. And if I go for execution, means running, run the code. Okay, it is asking the two numbers. Okay, my aim is I want to find the division of two numbers. Same, I will go with the 12 and 3 only. What you are expecting here? 12 by 3 means?
Actually, it should be 4, sir, but we won't get output here.
Here you will get the like multiplication of two numbers. You are not getting exact output. Okay. Logically, you did some mistakes in your code so that it is giving the wrong output. Okay. These are the logical errors. Logical errors also you can correct by changing your code. Okay. Instead of this like particular multiplication symbol, just go with the division. Okay. Division operator. Now, if I go with like 12 and 3, it is giving 4 exact output we are getting. Now we are able to handle like syntax errors and logical errors by changing our code. We are following language rules, and we can remove syntax errors, and even logical errors also. You can find your statement and you can correct your code. Now coming to this third one is runtime errors. Runtime errors are the errors which can occur at the time of running your code. Okay. See, compiler don't know where that exact error is going to happen. Okay. Let's see. Same program we'll see. Okay. I'm going for compile. Okay. If is there any syntax errors, here only we can see. Now there is no syntactical errors. Okay. I'm going for running your code. Now first number I'm just entering as the same 12 only. Okay. See, the second number I'm just going with 0. Okay. Now you can see what happened. You are seeing some message, right? Exception sample.exe has stopped working. Are you seeing this message? A
Yes, sir.
problem caused the program to stop working correctly. That means while running your code, because of some statement, your program is going to stop in middle of your execution itself. Okay, this particular situation you can call it as exception, or you can say runtime error. Runtime errors are the errors which can occur at the time of running your code. Okay, because of exception, your program is going to stop abnormally. Okay, see after the some statement. Okay, actually we need to print this thing. Division equals to some value you need to print, but you are not able to like complete your execution. Okay, this situation you can call it as exception, and to handle these situations we have one powerful mechanism, that is exception handling. Okay, that we will see how we can handle such situation. Like see here in our example, you are trying to divide one number by 0, right? Okay, in mathematics if you are dividing some number by 0 means you cannot like give the output, means it is going to give some infinity value. The same way in our programming world, you have one array with 5 numbers. Okay, a of 5 means it can hold 5 numbers, but while accessing your values from your array, you are trying to access 10th element. Okay, your actual array size is 5 only. You can access only 5 elements from a of 0, a of 1 up to a of 4 you can access. Suppose here I will just show. This is array. Array consists 5 elements. Means you can access from this particular array. Okay, a of 0 means first element it is going to return. Like that, a up to a of 4 you can access. But in your code, you are trying to access 10th element. A of 10 you are trying to access. Means index is 5 only. Okay, you are trying to access 10th value. Okay, that is that situation you can say out of bound index. Out of bound index situation. That is also one error. Okay, like runtime error, it is going to happen at the time of running code. Okay, the same way, for example, you have one file. Okay, actually we need to in fourth unit we have file concept. Okay, we will see there also. You have one file. Okay, for example, consider this one only. your folder is CSC, right? You have this exception.sample file. Okay. In your code, you are trying to like open this particular file. Okay. This particular sample dot exception sample program you are trying to open, but that file is not available in your folder. Okay. That is also the situation. It will occur at the time of running your code itself. Okay. The situation you can say like you are trying to open a file, but that file is not available in your code. Okay. That is also one runtime error. Okay. Such type of errors you are going to handle in your code by using this exception handling mechanism. Okay. Exception handling is very, very important to consider any programming language, because in our general life we will do many exceptions. For example, a best example I will give, you have one bank account in any one bank. Okay. Actually, these exception, by using exception handling, what we can do, we can convert system generated messages into user friendly messages. Okay. See, if I in the previous example in this code, okay, same numbers I will enter. Okay, it is going to raise some error. Okay, that is you are unable to understand that what is that exact what happens inside that program, you don't know. Okay, that particular issue you are going to show to your user. Okay, you have developed one application. Okay, that application, because of some situation, it may raise some errors at the time of running your code. For example, I will give one example. You have one bank account, you are trying to withdraw money from your account, from your by using your ATM card. Okay, you are trying to withdraw some amount from your bank account by using ATM. Okay, what happened is in your account you have only 10,000 is there. Okay, 10,000 only is there. Okay, if you are withdrawing 5,000, there is no issue. Okay, it is see, you are not compiling anything. Someone developed that application simply by using ATM card. You are trying to withdraw money from your ATM. Okay, you are simple. You have the account balance 10,000. Okay, you are just withdrawn 5,000. Okay, there is no issue. Okay, if you are withdrawing 5,000, no issue. Okay, after withdrawing 5,000, balance is 5,000, right? Okay, in the second transaction, what you are trying to do, you are trying to withdraw 20,000. Okay, you have entered everything. You have entered, you inserted your ATM and you have entered your PIN. Everything you are followed, but you are trying to withdraw greater than your account balance. Okay, this situation. Okay, but simply it won't give your 20,000 money, right? It is going to show some message, insufficient funds, like that. Okay, see that message, actually internally there is an error is going to raise at runtime. Okay, that runtime error we cannot understand. Okay, that they won't show that particular runtime error message in your screen. They will show user friendly message. Okay, insufficient funds, like that. Okay, such type of user friendly message we can show to the user by using this exception handling mechanism. Okay, in the next coming example, I will show how you can handle that situation by using exception handling mechanism. Okay, clear this concept, right? Just blindly remember this ATM example for your exception handling case. Okay, best example this one. You are trying to withdraw money from your account. Okay, you are trying to withdraw like in your account, suppose you have only 10,000, you are trying to withdraw 20,000. In that case, it is going to raise one exception. Okay, that exception is raised by your in your program itself, but that message you are not going to see. You are seeing only user friendly message. Okay, exception handling mechanism concept itself, converting system errors into user system related errors into user friendly messages. Okay, that we will see in coming example. Okay, as of now, just understand what are the different types of errors and what is exception and what is exception handling. Okay, see then how you can handle these exceptions. Okay, at runtime these errors are going to happen. Okay, to handle these exceptions, we have the concept called exception handling. Okay, by using three keywords. Okay, by using three keywords in C++, we can handle those runtime errors or those exceptions. Okay, what are those three exceptions? Three keywords. See, we have three keywords. First one is try. Okay, second one is throw. Third one is catch. Okay, by using these three keywords, you are going to handle your runtime errors or exceptions. Okay, see what is this try block? Okay, these are the blocks actually. Okay, this is the keyword. Okay, this is also one keyword and this is also one keyword. How you can use these keywords to handle your exception. Okay, see try is one block you are going to use in your code. Okay, the syntax for try is like this. Okay, try, open bracket and close bracket. Here you are going to write your statement. Okay, here simple try is one block. Okay, you are going to write in your code. Okay, try is a keyword, open bracket and close bracket. In middle, whatever the statements you are writing, those statements come under this try block. Okay, you can write statements inside this particular try block. Okay, actually, what is the use of try block is try block is intended to like write the statements which can raise exception. There is a chance to raise exception. If you see in our previous example, as a programmer, okay, I'm like thinking that here there is a chance to raise exception. Okay, if you are trying to divide this x by y, okay, I'm thinking that user may, I'm just thinking as a programmer, I'm thinking that user may enter y value is 0. At that time, there is a chance to raise exception. Okay, such like risky code. Okay, you can say this is one risky code. Such risky codes you are going to write inside the try block. Wherever you are expecting exception, those statements you are going to write inside try block. Okay, try block is intended to write the statements which can raise exception. Okay, for example, in the previous example, result equals to x by y. This is one statement, right? This is the risky code. You can say this is the risky code because at the runtime user may enter this y value is 0. There is a chance to raise exception. Okay, this particular statement you can write inside your try block. Wherever you are expecting exception, those statements you can include inside try block. Okay, see here, if at runtime if the user enters y value is 0. Okay, what I will do here, I will just throw that particular exception. Okay, here exception is going to raise. Okay, in try block, exception is going to raise. That particular exception, I'm just throwing. Okay, just simply throwing by using throw keyword. This is the keyword, small letter. Okay, I'm just throwing that exception. Okay, from this try block. Okay, from this try block, I'm just throwing that exception outside this try block. Okay, throw, for example, whatever the exception that is going to raise, that you need to mention as a parameter. Okay, return value, just like, okay, for example, here I'm just throwing one message like division by 0 not possible. The previous case, abnormally it is terminated. You cannot understand that situation, right? But in this case, you are giving some clear information to the user. Okay, division by 0 not possible. This is the like exception parameter. Okay, exception thing, exception message that you are giving, you are throwing from this particular try block. Okay, inside try block, you are going to write some risky code, or you can say wherever you are expecting exceptions, those statements you are going to write inside this try block. Okay, whatever once that exception raised in this statement, once the exception raised in this try block, that exception you are throwing from this try block by using throw keyword. By using throw keyword, you are throwing from this try block. Okay, see, whatever the exception that you are thrown from try block, that is going to catch by using catch block. Here, type, which type of exception you are throwing, and that you are going to store in one variable. Okay, this is the catch block. See, try block is intended to place the like risky code. Okay, that means wherever you are expecting that particular statement is going to raise exception, means those statements you are simply placing in try block. Okay, once the exception is raised, that exception you are throwing by using throw keyword. Okay, throw some parameter. It can take only one parameter. Okay, that message you can pass, or you can send some value. Okay, we will see in our examples. Once you see that example, you will get clear idea how you are using this throw keyword. Okay, how you are using this try block. Once whatever the exception it is throwing from try block, that is going to catch by catch block. Okay, we need to show this message to the user, right? Okay, that you are going to catch by using catch block. Catch block is intended to handle that situation. Okay, whatever the message that particular try block is throwing by using throw keyword, okay, that you are going to handle by using catch block. Okay, that exception you are catching by using catch block. Okay, inside catch block, you are going to write handling code. Inside catch block, you are writing handling code. Okay, based on this situation, you are handling that inside catch block. Okay, see, this is the try block. Try block, inside try blocks, you are writing statements. Okay, statement means if you are expecting any or like exception, those statements you are writing inside catch. Okay, if the exception is raised, that you are going to throw by using throw keyword. Okay, whatever the exception that is thrown by throw keyword, that is going to catch by using catch block. Okay, see, this catch block is intended to handle that situation. Okay, whatever the exception you got from the throw, okay, that you are going to catch by using catch block. Okay, catch block is intended to handle that situation. Okay, we will write handling code inside catch block. Okay, just I will show one or two slides here. Just go through this one. Okay, this theory part we have just seen. See, handling the exception is nothing but converting system error message into user-friendly error message. Okay, see, whatever in the previous example, once that particular error is generated, that is system generated message. Okay, user cannot understand that system generated message. Okay, that message you are going to convert into user-friendly message. Okay, user readable message you are just converting by using exception handling mechanism. Okay, we have in C++ these three keywords. One is try, catch, and throw. By using these three keywords, you can handle those situations. Okay, here coming to try block consists of the code that may generate exception. Okay, that means a risky code. Okay, there is a chance to raise exception, right? Those exception such type of statements we are going to write inside the try block. Exceptions are thrown from inside try block. Okay, exceptions are thrown from inside try block by using the throw keyword. Okay, see try. This try represents a block of code that can throw an exception. Same thing. Try block groups one or more program statements with one or more catch clauses. That means we'll see for one catch block, for one try block, you are going to write multiple catch blocks also. Okay, for one try block, you can write multiple catch blocks also, that we will see in the coming slides. Okay, coming to this throw keyword is used to throw an exception encountered inside try block. Okay, as I said, right? See here, inside this particular try block, whatever the exception that is encountered here, that you are going to throw from your try block. Okay, that is the thing here. Okay, see, throw keyword is used to throw an exception encountered inside try block. After the exception is thrown, the control is transferred to catch block. Okay, once you this throw statement is executed, your control is like coming to this catch block. Okay, from throw keyword to directly it will move to this catch block. Okay, raising of an exception is done by throw exception, throw keyword. By using throw keyword, you can raise exception. Okay, whatever the message you want to show to the user, okay, that you can throw by using this throw keyword. Coming to this catch block catches the exception thrown by the throw statement from try block. Okay, same here. Okay, this catch block is catches this exception thrown inside try block. By using throw keyword, you are throwing, right? Okay, that exception you are catching by using catch block. Okay, that inside this particular catch block, you are going to write this handling code. Then exception are handled inside catch block. Okay, you are writing handling code inside your catch block. Okay, the catch block defines the action to be taken, then an exception occurs. Okay, catch block, inside the catch block, you are going to write some code. Okay, what actions we need to take for that particular exception. Everything we can write inside this catch block. Okay, simple. These three keywords blindly remember: try block, throw keyword, and catch block. Okay, by inside try block, you are writing some whatever the statement will raise exception. Those statements you are writing inside try block. Okay, whatever the exception it is raised in try, that exception you are throwing by using throw keyword. Okay, whatever the exception thrown from try block, that you are going to catch by using catch block. Inside catch block, you are writing handling code. Okay, whatever the action you want to take for that particular exception, that code you are going to write in your catch block. Okay. See, this is the thing. Okay, try block. Okay, inside this try, you are writing some statements. Okay, like these statements, you can write any statements, like whatever you are expecting, like it may be chance to raise exception. Okay, those statements you can simply write inside try. Okay, based on your statements, you can throw exception. Okay, if you see one simple example, how you are handling that particular situation using this try and catch block and throw keyword, it is very clear to you. Okay, by using throw, you are simply throwing that exception. Okay, that whatever the exception you have thrown, that you are catching by using catch block. Okay, and you are handling the code here. Okay, here you are writing handling like thing. Whatever the statement you want to handle, based on that, you can handle your exception inside catch block. Okay, see, control will move from throw to directly catch block like this. Okay, after this throw statement, if you have any statement, those statements are not going to execute. Directly control will like jump from this throw keyword to catch block. Okay. See, this is the try block. Okay. Try block detects and throws an exception. Okay. The use of try block is first it will detect the exception and it is going to throw that exception by using throw keyword. Whatever you have detected here, okay, that you are going to catch by using catch block. Inside catch block, you are like catches, you are catching that exception and you are handling that exception. Okay. See, multiple catch blocks also we can write, that we will see. First, we will see one example code. Okay, so that you will very clear how I am able to like handle this situation. Okay, roughly I will explain. Okay, we don't have the time, but try to understand. This is the situation. If I enter y, like it is going to raise an exception, right? The previous example, it is in abnormally your program is going to terminate it. See what I'm doing. I'm going to write try block. Okay, inside this try block. Okay, I'm just using if like y equals to 0, one condition I'm writing. Okay, if y equals to 0, or like throw, okay, or like one message I'm just throw y. Okay, I'm just throwing this y from this try block. Okay, the exception is y here now. Then try, inside the try only I'm just mentioning this particular risky code. This is the risky code. Because of this statement, it is going to stop your execution, right? Okay, if the user enters this y value, your program is going to stop abnormally. Okay, for this particular try block, okay, I'm just writing one catch block. Okay, exception is raised here. That exception you are throwing like this by using throw keyword. Okay, this particular thing, once exception is raised inside try block, control will directly come to catch block. Here you are going to like actually you are sending integer type value, right? Y is the integer value, right? Here you need to mention type and some variable ex. Okay, you are storing that value inside ex. Now you are going to handle the code by using some statement. Here I'm just handling that situation by using some simple statement and giving the message to the user. Simple message I'm just writing, and here you are just throwing y. That y value is stored inside ex. That ex also I'm just printing in the output. Okay, I'm just showing that to user. Okay, try block and catch block. Okay, this cout statement I'm just writing inside this try only. Okay. I will give more examples also. Now thing is I'm just using by using same code is simple. I'm using this try and catch block. Inside try block, because of this statement, there is a chance to raise a exception. Okay, that code I'm just mentioned inside this try block. Okay, if the user enters y value 0, exception is going to raise. Okay, that exception you are throwing by using this throw keyword. First I'm checking y value. If y value 0, I'm just throwing the exception. Okay, from try block to catch block, I'm throwing this y. Okay, this catch block catches that exception, and inside this catch block you can handle your code. By using this catch block, you are handling by showing this message to the user. Okay, now you can see I'm just saving this file, run it, compiled. There is no errors at the time of compiling your code, 0 errors. If I go for a run, see, first case, I will just enter 12 and 3. It is giving 4, no problem. The second case, what I am going to do, I will go with 12. This second number, I'm just entering y value is 0. Okay. Now you can see in the previous case, abnormally your program is terminated, right? If I enter 0, your program is stopped execution. Are you getting the point? If I click on enter button, your program is stopped working. It is given some message. Now observe. If I click on this enter button, you can see divide is not possible by 0. Now you are in a position to handle that situations by using this try block and catch block. By using this exception handling mechanism, you are able to handle that situation. Now user can understand by reading this message. Okay, divide is not possible by 0. Then what user will do? You may not enter second number is 0. You will enter correct number, you will get the output. Right? In this way, you can handle your situation. More examples we will see in the next class. Okay, hope you understand this concept. Okay, again I will briefly explain this try, throw, and catch keywords. So then we will see more examples on this exception handling mechanism. Okay.